shine forth upon those silent hills, and watch Jerusalem builded here among those dark satanic mills.
Because we work with each other and we sit next to each other at work, we were saying that there should be more opportunities where we could get together with other women and share knowledge and experience. And we were thinking about creating something ourselves, and then we realised actually it already existed, and that was the WI.
I went along to the first night where they had a meeting just to see sort of if there was any interest. And I had only just recently moved back to Norwich. So I went along to the meeting, and it was a full room, wasn't it? It was a fantastic turnout. And that night there was opportunity to put your name down if you wanted to be part of the committee. And I did, and a few weeks later maybe, I found out I'd got VP.
It's an organisation for like-minded women, so that everybody can go there. Their circumstances and their backgrounds are all so varied and so different. And you say about husbands being supportive, the ones who are there are really supportive. But also, there's lots of ladies come who are on their own, or they've got husbands who they look after 24 hours a day. And this is their special time for them to be on their own. They can talk to other people, they can find out there's other people there in the same circumstances, and they don't feel quite so alone. But they can forget all that and just come along and just be part of something a bit bigger, you know. And even if they just come to the monthly meetings and then go away, they've had a couple of hours relaxed and sort of regenerated to go back. And I think that's probably one of the biggest points about each individual WI, rather than the umbrella of the great big federation and everything. I think it just comes down to these little knots of where it works for those groups of people, and that is just, well, it doesn't happen anywhere else, does it? There is nothing else that women can go to and feel that comfortable.
I was a little girl and I felt as if I was a member all the time, because Mummy was president of that for a long time, and after school I used to go to the meeting with other little girls, and that was very nice. But we're thrilled to have one at Thurton. It is run very correctly. We do stick to our rules, and we do like it to be kept like that, and our president, he keeps us in order with that. And each time, if we've had a different president, we have followed the rules right from how the first lady started us off. And so, but it's a very relaxed WI, lots of fun, lots of pleasure.
We've just grown up all together. It's been a huge success in keeping friendship, keeping community alive, basically. And I think that's great strength of the WI.
When I go there and we have the meeting, I come out and it's like a tonic.
I'd say our group is known for its joyness, it's always drinking and always eating cake. The cake and quiz night that we had last year was amazing. Never had a hangover quite like that.
We had a party, our birthday party, and of course it comes at Christmas time, and so we make it birthday come Christmas. We finish up with carols. But one year we had the Bunny Girls. That was great fun. We took that to an old people's home, and where they all enjoyed it, but the old boys, the old gentlemen, were after our bunny tails. And the gentleman who's in charge, he said, I don't think you ought to come like that again, Eileen, because you lot put their blood pressure up.
I like the WI because it's got so many things going on. There's so many different groups that meet regularly. Got a great big pot that you can dip into and take it out as much or as little as you like, and consequently get as much or as little back from it, whatever you want to do. It was just getting out and about, doing things that perhaps you wouldn't do on your own. My husband's quite ill, so we don't go out and do a lot together. So this has given me an opportunity to have a kind of life for myself.
About 4 years ago, I met a present member, who said to me, why are you not a member of our local WI? So I went with her one evening. She came and collected me, and I went with her, and I met a group of really nice ladies who were very friendly, very welcoming, and I realised that they did an awful lot more than I really ever thought they did. which I enjoy very much.
Each WI has got different hobbies, different crafts, different interests. They've got walking interests, they go temping bowling, they go playing darts, and then you've got the education side, so each one is so very, very different.
Oh, we have a fantastic book group, which I've always found it, just my kind of book group. We discuss lots of books, and then we have a big gossip, which of course for me as new to the area was absolutely fascinating.
Yes, I remember I became a member in 1991 I became a member of Ormsby, and it was because they had a double day. I'm very interested in crafts of all kinds, and they were showing how to do tatting. I always wanted to know how to do tatting, so I came along to that day, which was an open day, open to everybody, and they showed me how to do tatting, and I met people, and it seemed very pleasant.
The WI, you can have one session a month and think, like I did, I've suddenly developed an obsession with crochet. I never knew that I would, but I definitely can't knit.
But that's
that was
another
the worst thing
aspect
ever.
of the WI, isn't it? That you go to something, you would never have those opportunities normally. So when you go and there's a random meet and you think, oh goodness, I can't knit or I can't crochet, and it's there in front of you, you think, well, I'll have a go at it, I'll give it a whirl. And before you know it, you've created a piece of fine art. And it does, it has a desire, and it brings it out in you.
Oh, I've got so many hobbies, hence I've got no end of stuff to be finished when I get time to do it. I love embroidery, I love tapestry, I love photography.
I'm part of the Golden Triangle Girls Craft Club that's on a Saturday. That's great fun. Last year we did Christmas wreaths, and that was great fun, bit prickly but really, really good fun. And it looked beautiful on Christmas Day in the middle of the table. For the wreath making, pretty much everything that I bought came from Blickling Hall, where I work here, which was very useful for me and everyone else that was going as well. They all got bits of holly and with everything with the berries on, so it was really good. My job here just is perfect for that. I look forward to coming to work every day. I enjoy the work that I do. I love my team that I work for, and working for the National Trust as well, which has so much history within Britain, just like the WI. It's really powerful, and I love being part of it.
I quite like the activity ones because I'm not very crafty or particularly good at cooking, so anything that gets me thinking and enhances that skill is always quite good for me. We liked the fuchsia one, didn't we?
Oh yes, that was lovely.
was
Yes,
brilliant.
and I
Bought
put into
some
practice
fuchsias.
some of his hints. That's right.
We've
yes.
done some cuttings, haven't we?
Yes.
Yes, we got 3 fuchsias growing nicely now. haven't we?
That's right. Yes. And we did have a nice trip to the garden, Rose Garden once as well.
It's opened my mind to other things. You tend to, as you get older, you tend to sort of be in your own little box, and you're afraid to try new things. But I realise that it doesn't matter if I don't do them well. No one's going to laugh at me. It's just the sheer enjoyment of trying to do them.
I have learnt a lot through being in the WI. I've learnt a lot. We've had classes on different things throughout the years, and although my mother was never 95 when I lost her, she would say, you can learn something every day, dear, however old you are. And I think that is quite true.
Unfortunately, I became ill with cancer in the spring of 91. And again, they were ever so good, because I'm Danish, you see. And they had a member, Pam Pierce, and she was learning Danish because her daughter was married to a Dane, a Thatcher of all things. And so she came round and visited, although I've only been to the meetings a couple of times, which was, really encouraging. And so I finished my treatment in 13th of January 1992, which is why I now got curly hair. It was straight before.
Really, there was a long waiting list. It was 90 strong, and there was a waiting list getting. So I said to the president, I remember her name, Christine. I said, Christine, you want me? I said, I can play Jerusalem, and I said, I'm committee material. Right, we'll have you. And that was it. One of the ladies had played Jerusalem. She was sick or something, so straight away I was playing Jerusalem on this really old piano. It's horrible. But then sort of everybody knew me, didn't they? Because I was playing piano. There's Pan playing the piano. So I was well in, if you like.
I always wanted to be secretary. I've been secretary all my life, and to me, I thought, I'm going to be there one day. I will get that job. I begrudgingly looked at other people doing this job. When I do it, I'll have the newsletter looking like this, and so yeah, it was something I always wanted to do. And then must have been about a year and a half ago now, and I started. I sort of put my name forward and got the job. So, and I've absolutely loved it, although it takes up a lot of my time.
Joined it because I was married to a bank manager, and the bank moved us around all different parts of the country. We never had children, so I didn't have a chance of meeting people at the school gate, and I moved into a village, and it's quite lonely when you first move in. I was a hairdresser, so I did get out for a bit of company, but from there I joined the WI as an outlet to meet more people and to know the village a bit better, and it was wonderful. We arranged the carnival and everything, and my husband came down, and he'd never experienced before when people were saying, oh, this is Coral's husband. He'd always known it the other way round. I was the tag on, but he'd never ever experienced me being the one that was known and him being introduced. This was my first experience of making my own friends in things I was interested in, and he had to come along and join in.
The WI brings women together from the kind of offset, because we never met and now we're really good friends, and it's provided something kind of outside of the WI as well.
And that's exactly why I wanted to join.
Because people have obviously opted in to join, they're not forced to join, you know that they kind of have interests that are similar to yours. So from the offset, you already have something in common.
The WI is quite important to my life. I like the continued friendships that I've made throughout the years. I think if you live in small villages, you can be quite lonely, quite isolated, especially if you live on an isolated farm or down a lane away from everybody else. And I think that's been its main asset, is the friendship that's come from it.
And I thought perhaps the WI was a bit snooty. But then, as I got older and it was nearly retirement from work, I've always thought that when one has a husband, a partner, if that person dies, then you cannot just join clubs. It's very difficult. You need to have friends, and I like people, I like loads of friends in every walks of life, and that's challenges and just it gets a serotonin in your brain chemical going, because I've got something on today, going to meet so-and-so. And even when I've been away on holiday as a WI member. So you've got that connection with different walks of life, haven't you, all the time? And you start off and that's your talk.
Joined just at the right time, I think, when I needed something more in my life, and then I met friends there who helped me through a difficult time, and then went on to do lots of different things with them, and opened up new doors all the way along.
Do I see it as being a sisterhood? I see it as a way of having friends, of being who you are, but mainly it is the great friendship it offers. At this particular stage in my life, I'm finding it is very, very important to me.
I'm so pleased that the WI has got into the urban environment, because I think it's such a marvellous thing for younger people in cities where you go, you don't know anybody, you have no family, and you can get your own big family, and you have a big choice of people to meet, so you're probably more likely to meet a kind of kindred spirit in that environment.
I found out about the WI in Norwich through a friend, because I moved into Norwich with her, and she'd seen it. I think she'd found you on Facebook and thought she would come along and suggested I come along too. And since then I have made all of my friends through the WI, and it's great, it's lovely. It's just lovely to meet people with the same sort of morals and ethics and like-minded people, and they want to do the same sorts of things, they're interested in the same sorts of things. It's creating a network of people when you have nothing that you can rely on, you can ask for help and just be part of something.
For friendship, what more could you ask?
Well, I kind of like the heritage aspect and the history of the WI and how it came over from Canada, and it brought rural women in their communities together when maybe the men were out to war or out working long hours. But to put that into a contemporary aspect, I still think that's the fundamentals, but we also bring a slightly younger dynamic to it.
It is where our beginnings are. We definitely did make jam. Jerusalem was definitely given to us as an anthem. We still, a lot of WIs, majority in fact, still sing Jerusalem. I would be very sad if we didn't. We go off to the Albert Hall and you sing Jerusalem to that wonderful organ, and you'll never experience anything like it. So no, I mean, I do like the Jam in Jerusalem image. I don't find it's anything old-fashioned or anything. It's our heritage.
Well, I'm very pleased we sing Jerusalem. Yeah, I am pleased about that because that's quite traditional. We are doing our best, but we have got to practice quite a bit. But we'll get there in the end with a little bit of luck.
And I guess we're viewed as a non-traditional WI for lots of different reasons. One of the main reasons is probably because we meet in a pub. But actually, being at our age and the community in which we live, in the Golden Triangle in Norwich, you know, there are community centres, there are churches, but actually the places where I tend to meet my neighbours
down the local
pub. So it really works well for us, and it means that people can come along and have a cup of tea or a glass of wine and eat some cake, and it's very informal in that respect.
I think for us, being slightly younger, having full-time jobs, families, other interests, we don't beat ourselves up when we go down the shop and buy a cake and bring it in. No one's judgmental.
I judge you.
Unfortunately, I think we have sort of suffered with the old mantle of the WI, that people think that's all we do is jam making and singing Jerusalem and all that. And by now getting involved with the community and doing, like we did last year, a Jubilee tea party for people in the village, I hope it's made a difference.
Other areas where we're non-traditional are that we use a lot of social media, and that we correspond with our members via email and through Facebook and Twitter,
Pinterest.
Yeah, lots of different ways, and so that's kind of another way where we're slightly different.
But I do want to learn to do the laptop, because that was my last present my husband bought for me before I lost him, and I do want to learn to do it. He said I was getting on all right, but I don't think I was. But he said I was, but I don't think I was. But I do want to try and do it. But some of our ladies in the WI are doing it, and if they can do it, well, Eileen's got to do it.
I think the future of the WI, if we can really continue to push in the direction that we're going in, I think we could be an unstoppable force of jam making and cake baking. I think there's so much more behind making everything yourself and sort of just trying to be self-sufficient, and there's a lot more of that coming through now that we're at the recession and the things like that. And I think as a community, keeping everything together like that is really important, and I think the WI can really help to push that forward in the future.
You need to grow. You need to get more new members in with new ideas, different ways of looking at things. And certainly in my case, I suddenly discovered that the WI had a huge public affairs slant to it. And although it's non-political, non-religious, it doesn't mean to say you can't comment on politics, but not party politics. And I think the voice of the WI has been hugely inspirational, yeah, why not, and influential.
I like going to the outreach programs because I'm quite interested in international development and everything. It's very interesting to see the other side, and having been in the UN and seen the terrible bureaucratic political side of aid, it's very heartwarming to find a group like the WI trying to do it the right way, which of course isn't political and doesn't involve money.
I'd like to see a lot younger people joining, and it makes us so excited when we see a group like the Golden Triangle Girls, and we're just learning so much from them. They're giving us so much more, and let's hope that we can give you something back. But basically, yes, we hope that we get a lot younger members that can teach us some new and different ways.
And I think there's an argument that maybe if young people want a WI, they should set up their own WIs. So there should be, older and more traditional WIs and then younger WIs. But I don't necessarily know if I think that would be the future of the WI. I think that it's really nice to integrate young people with older people and then kind of have a mixture of ages and different experiences.
I think the future looks really bright for the WI. I think if our experience is anything to go on,
3 years on.
Yeah. Who knows what we'll look like in 30 years on.
Well, maybe we might have shrunk a bit and a few more grey hairs, but apart from that, we might have learned a few more things.
Yeah. I might get stuff in on time that we're meant to do.
Probably not even in 30 years.
I think we do have to take on board new technology because otherwise we're going to get left behind, but also embrace the good of what has been, because there are some wonderful skills from our older members, so we mustn't forget those. And of course I know the younger members want to take those new skills on board anyway, embroidery, the craft, the cake making, etc. And what's better than a nice homemade cake or a jar of homemade jam?
The WI has, as we all know, a rather staid kind of image, and it's not like that at all. As I also say, it's a group, a place, anything is whatever you put into it. It's not, you don't have to take what's there. You put things into it, you change it, you work with it, you grow with it.
I have said to lots of ladies I've met, please come and join us. You are going to be surprised. You will enjoy yourself. And something I have discovered is that I laugh a lot of the time. There seems to be so much fun around. And I just think it's a wonderful institution to be a member of.
I can only say that I appreciate the WI enormously, and I don't think I would be in quite the same position, mental state, or in terms of continuing my life as I do if it was not for the WI. And that is a fact. That is an absolute fact. If they'd not been there during these difficult times, if not been there and allowing me to learn, it would be a sorry thing, I'm sure. I'm hugely grateful.
There's so many opportunities in the WI. Girls, ladies, old ladies don't know what they're missing if they haven't joined the WI. So I'm all for it through and through.
Thank you, ladies. You sounded wonderful. Niece, you'll now read the minutes of the last meeting.